the most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Welcome back trackside once again, race fans, here to the Turn 3 Racing Network. Tonight, the American Sim Motor Racing Hauck Designs Xfinity Series fires things off for race number 8. That's right, just over the halfway point this season, and we're going to see which one of these drivers can tackle the 13 turn 2 in a quarter-mile road course right here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Last week, we seen an end to the reign of Todd Cray. Last week from Texas Motor Speedway, Clark Janikin returning to victory lane. The 27 was able to get that Toyota Supra back to winning the standards back here this season once again. Back this week, Janikin gonna look to go back-to-back from Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Can he be the next driver on the roll? Christian Abati also in the field here tonight in qualifying down there. The 45 Chevy Camaro laying down his fast time. And speaking of fast times, what do you say we go ahead and drop qualifying standings over there to the left-hand side of your screen? You'll see them as drivers begin to make their way across the line. But first, how you doing? How you feeling out there in TV land, race fans? Glad you could all join us here tonight. As always, Dave of the Cave bringing you all the calls from trackside. You can see a handful of drivers down there from the turn 3 blimp, showing a beautiful sprawling road course here. 13 corners, technical corners at that. Got some long straightaways, so some braking zones will come into factor. And as the music fades out, free to get drivers beginning to turn in those fast times. There you can see Derek Moore. Now Nick Burlow takes the top of the speed charts. Quick time here from Ohio now belongs to Christian Abate in that 45. We told you moments ago we had our eyes on him on his up to speed lap. Looked very quick through the center section of this course. 1:27.93, fastest lap all night long. That's quicker than any hot lap laid down in happy hour just before this qualifying session, with just about 60 seconds remaining. Drivers going to be hard-pressed to even get a time in. So it looks like Abate may be safe, almost a full 2/10 faster than he was in happy hour. He's going to run a sub 1:28, 1.2 seconds out front. More drivers turning in their fast times. Northcutt going to go inside of the top 5. Schultz, Wing, Jensen, Ramos, and Giuliano out on their flying laps. We'll see if they can get it in here with just about 30 seconds remaining. It's going to be hard-pressed for any of those drivers to lay down the time in time to dethrone Christian Abate at the front. And we're going to go inside of the top 10. In 7th, Jensen, Ramos, Giuliano. You have to cross the line with just about 10 seconds to go. That's going to do it. That's going to be it here for the David Spears Designs Pole Award. Christian Abate will start front of the field. Front row in center. Abate going to take the pole position. We're going to step trackside for your national anthem. Don't go anywhere, race fans. We'll be right back.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly wailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
And with the flyover behind us, drivers begin to make their way to their starting positions and rolling off of the grid. Let's jump right to it. Here we go. Starting from inside row number 1, your David Spears Design Pole Award winner here tonight behind the wheel of that Red Miss Podcast 45 machine. Christian Abate will bring the field to the green flag. 88 of Burlow right behind him. Pace car going to duck off. We're going to run down the rest of your running order as they get set to head to the final few corners on the gas, and green flag flies for the first time here tonight from mid-Ohio. Quick start as Abate going to lead them down into turn 1. Inside move by the 16 of Derek Moore. The Amsoil number 16 going to catch the position and catching some air as the 88 of Burlow off track there out of turn number 1, and Burlow under braking a little bit squirrely. Gonna keep the front end underneath him. He's gonna take the position away. Burlow trying to pick up a few of the positions he's given up. The 27 of Clark Janikin still remains in that 5th position. Nicholas Wing up 1 spot. The 99 now gonna take a position away from Charles Northcutt. Let's look at the battle here between the 99 and the 67. Now looking to the inside is Kyle Munson. The 8 going to stick the nose in, but the 67 going to close the door. The Eagle sponsor, number 67 of Charles Northcutt, ranked early this season, has had a little bit of a rough go here in the mid portion of the season number 2 with the Xfinity Series. We'll see if Northcutt can turn it around by the end of tonight's race. We'll drop the timing and scoring over there to the left-hand side of your screen at the end of lap number 1. Drivers going to make their way through the final few corners. Now making their way, I believe that is the S's backside of the track, finishing off sector number 2. Race leader, pole sitter, back off of the final corner, back across the stripe. Lap number 2 now underway. Let's drop the timing and scoring over there to the left-hand side of your screen. Let you follow along. Find your favorite driver here tonight. Pole sitter Abati still out front, 1.2 second advantage over Derek Moore. Mike DeWalt with a good run so far, qualified 4th. Sitting in 3rd, Nick Burlow back 2 positions from the start of tonight's race, dropping 2 spots after an incident in turn number 1. Lap number 1, Burlow going to run 4th. Clark Janikin holding serve in 5th, with Northcutt, Ramos, Argabright, Munson, and Cher rounding out your top 10. Tough little battle back here. Let's go watch this one unfold. Ramos out front. There's Munson and Doug Argabright looking to make his way around in his EE Sports Hauck Designs 41 Toyota Supra. Looking to join Janikin inside of the top 5. Only one Toyota inside of the top 5 with some mixed bag between the manufacturers at the front, and Hauck has had some problems. The 7 of Hauck going to have some issues. He's going to go off track, get it corrected, head back in the right direction. No harm, no foul as Ed Hauck in the 7. The Chevy Camaro continues around the track here tonight, losing a little bit of ground, 30 seconds back now. Hearing about an 8-second drop off there with the trouble for Hauck as he went off track, giving up 8 seconds and just one little short swoop of a mistake. And that's how technical it is. That's how much you got to be on the gas and on it. And speaking of on it, let's go inside of the car around the track here. Riding on board with Christian Abati. Great onboard camera shots here tonight being provided to you by all the guys and girls back in the Turn 3 Racing Network. We appreciate each and every one of the crew chiefs and drivers allowing us to invade a little space to give you a little taste of what it's like around the track here tonight from a Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Beautiful camera shot right here, just hanging from the inside of the roof, giving you a good look at that rear view mirror as well as the driver's hand. You can see nice and smooth on the wheel is Abati. A little bit of a correction there. Just listen to that throttle play. Up through the gears. Hear that little feather back down into, I believe that's going to be 3rd gear. Nice and smooth around the track for Abati. He leads by 4.5 seconds here on lap number 3, coming through the final few corners. Oh, got to be careful there. Not go too far off in that final corner. That outside rumble strip is a little inviting, but could cause some issues and cause some problems. And we're going to jump back through the field. Let's go back to a battle. Josh McCoy, the 22 machine, he's got a company. Patrick Coro closing in on him. Coro into turn 3, racing number 91. Chevy Camaro looking to grab a position, looking to move a little further inside of the top 15. Coro runs in 13. Hot battle just outside of the top 15. Let's take a look at these 3 drivers. Might as well make it for Zach Miller, John Timms, Cody Schultz, and Nicholas Wing all going at it here. Wing with a big moment after challenging for positions inside of the top 5. A wing with a big moment there on lap. Excuse me, on lap number 2. He's going to give up a ton of time and a ton of positions. And here at Mid-Ohio, get yourself behind the 8 ball too early, and it's going to be tough for even strategy to play out your way. Only local yellow, so we will not see those full course cautions. So it's very tough to get yourself back on the lead lap. Very tough to make up a chunk of time. And we'll see if any of these drivers at the front have what it takes to run down Avanti as we join a battle here for second position. Nick Burlow able to work his way by the 17. Now that U.S. Air Force number 88 machine looking to work over the Amsoil number 16 of Derek Moore. Moore has been on a tear as of late, taking over the points lead for the first time this season. Somebody besides Don Curry will lead the point standings coming into tonight's race. We'll get to a little bit of that here in just a little while. We'll let things calm down, sort itself out a while here from Mid-Ohio. You're watching the ASMR Hauck Designs Xfinitty Series. We'll jump around a bit, take a couple looks at a handful of action spots around this 2 1/4 mile 13-corner road course, not giving the man at the front of the field any trouble. Christian Avanti walking away with this thing almost 7 seconds in advantage heading into lap number 6. We've got less than 40 to go, but over 80 miles of racing remaining here tonight. So a lot can happen, a lot can go wrong. You miss your pit stop, it can cost you a ton. If you happen to have a big off-track moment, we've already seen 2 drivers. Self-induced penalties, if you will. The 7 of Ed Hauck, big moment. Off-track excursion took 8 seconds of track time up. And you can see now Hauck sitting 48.8, making 49 seconds behind the race leader. Closing in on competition in front of him, so Hauck is showing a little bit of speed. He's got a long way to go to walk away with a good finishing position here tonight. We'll see how the rest of the field goes, how they work themselves at it, staying right here with the battle between the 77 of John Thames, Cody Schulten, Nicholas Wingman 99. There you can see some rear end damage after a little bit of trouble early. Wing gonna fall to the rear, try to work his way back front. Nice battle here as we're gonna take a little look a little further in up the running order. Let's take a look at this battle that's beginning to unfold. The mentality, number 27 of Clark Janikin, last week's race winner from Texas, under fire now. Carlos Reyes, big, looking for position to 97, going to take that spot away. On the outside, good move here. Short work as we take a look off of the rear end of that 97. Ramos going to make the pass work on Janikin, who falls back to 7th. Doug Harderbright right here as well. So a good look off of the tail end of this 97. A handful of drivers with these onboard camera shots. We'll take a look now. At 77, closest, hottest battle. 3 cars lined up nose to tail, making their way around the track. John Tim showing the way for this little trio as they head off of the final corner back across the stripe. Lap number 7 underway. If there was ever a moment to say he gone, now is the time. almost 9-second advantage for your race leader, Christian Abate. This seems to be right up his alley, nice and smooth through all of these corners. And here, not really abusing those brakes, not really overworking the throttle either, just kind of nice and smooth here, controlling the pace, controlling the run, and walking away with this thing, leading every single lap so far here tonight. Abate with a 9.5-second advantage as they work their way around the track. Derek Moore sits in second, Nick Burlow back in third. Battle on the racetrack still going on. Just outside of your top five, Clark Jenikin, Doug Arderbright going at it for a position. 27 and 41. Gonna battle a little bit here. Take a look above the hood on this 41 Toyota Supra. Arderbright, who said he was trying to become the highest running, oh my goodness, highest running Toyota in the field, had to get up there and join the likes of Clark Jenikin, and here he is, lap number 8, all over the tail end, all on the rear deck of Jenikin. Bit of a moment there as they head down the back stretch. In turns 4 and 5, we'll take a look at these drivers making their way. Turns 3, 4, 5. Beautiful camera shots here as drivers work their way around up and over the hill. There you can see Northcutt going by. There's 5th, 6th is Carlos Ramos into the picture now, completing the pass out of the camera's eye view. Arderbright going to take the position away as they work their way through the S's and into the final corner. Mike DeWalt sitting in 4th. He's going to make his way by. What a run, what a night for DeWalt. Started in 4th, has maintained position. And only one other driver able to maintain position here tonight, and that is your race leader, Christian Abate. Absolutely laid him down out there tonight. A 129.92 last time around the track for your race leader, and that is why he continues to walk away. Nobody else in the 129 category and time bracket, so Abate continuing to lay down fast times as tire fall off doesn't seem to be affecting him. We're going to take a look at this battle. Burlow and Moore going at it, second and third. Comfortable second and third at that. You might ask yourself, if you're one of the crew chiefs, do you really battle right here? Such a long way to go. Sure, if something happens, you got a little time to recover, but with a 7-second advantage back to 4th place, do you really want to risk it for the biscuit at this point in time here tonight? Still a long way to go here from Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. You're watching the ASMR Hauck Designs Xfinity Series battle for second and third underway. Drivers going to make their way through the final corner, back across the stripe. And serve is Derek Moore in second. Gaps beginning to develop throughout the rest of the field. Will bring you some battles as they occur and as they happen, heating up around that 15th position. Let's take a look back here between Kyle Munson, Zach Miller, Cody Schultz. They're all going at it for position here. And what do you know? We got an Ohio State Buckeyes Toyota Supra out here tonight. On track at Mid-Ohio, trying to get the job done, trying to make it work. Behind that wheel, number 38, Zach Miller, sitting in the 15th position. We've got action near the front. Here we go. Carlos Ramos able to take a position away from Northcutt. The 67 going to drop back to 6th as the hard charge to the front continues for this 97. One of the fastest drivers on track, but unfortunately just has a lot of ground to make up over a 30-second deficit to your race leader and running about a second off pace. That is in traffic. Keep that in mind, race fans. It is in traffic right now. We'll see what the next lap or two holds for Ramos, because he's got to be the second fastest on track. I mean, I hate to say it that way, but I mean, Avanti hands down lap after lap, about a half a second to 3/4 of a second faster every single lap. So it's really a battle for that second and third position on the podium here tonight for Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. And again, right there, Ramos going to run lap times even with Moore and Burlow faster than DeWalt at the time. We'll see if he can't close that gap in the 11-second deficit between Ramos and DeWalt. And as we work our way the double digits, what do you say we drop some track information? We'll drop the track map over there to the left-hand side of your screen. You can get a little bit better picture of where your driver is on track in relation to the race leader out there highlighted at the front. You can see that orange number 45 signified from winning a race earlier this season, looking to get back to winning form. Avanti, he's going to do more than just win here tonight. He's going to dominate. Who knows? Broadcaster curse may come to bite him. We'll see if we keep talking about him. If we can't talk it up, I know Christian's not going to be too happy, but it's just absolutely stellar performance here. Closest battle on track will shift up to that second to third position still up for grabs as Merlot continues to look for second. Derek Moore holding it down sideways out of the corner as Merlot. Big slide for the U.S. Air Force number 88 machine. The Camaro chasing after the Ford. What a run here tonight at the front of this field. Carlos Ramos is still looking to close in on DeWalt, but not able to pick up as much time as what the timing was showing us there about 2 laps ago. Ramos much quicker. Things slowly beginning to even themselves out. So DeWalt falling into a nice clean gap on the track. Make no bones about it, 23 seconds back. That is a little bit more than what you would like to find yourself. We'll see if the 17 finds some speed. Doug Argerbright and Charles Northcutt beginning to heat things up. Let's take a look at this battle. They wheeled back in Carlos Ramos. So Ramos with a little bit of a moment here last time around the track. Not significant enough to catch a replay of it, but giving up a little bit of ground last time around. And that's it. That's how quick it can be. A little bit of damage on the front end of that 67. Looks like he may have given a fellow driver a little bit of help into one of the corners here tonight. A little bit of a crinkle just above the Mustang head on the front end of that Eagles number 67 machine. Northcutt very quick. Holding serve, sitting in 6th, started in a 6th position. So Northcutt trying to gain at least a spot here as he closes in on Carlos Ramos. Battle right here. 5th, 6th, and 7th. Only other battle on track, 2nd to 3rd, still going at it right here. As drivers going around a handful of lap machines. Looks like Doug Argerbright's going to have some problems. Argerbright with an issue. Oh no. Oh, what has happened? Let's go high above the track. We got it, boys. All right, we got the thumbs up. Let's go check the replay really quick. A little bit of trouble here tonight Let's take a look at this 41. He's going to get down into the corner. Just running a little bit wide. Off track right there. And a big lockup. Saving it from going around, but look at how much time it has cost him. Cost a handful of positions as well. So that's all it takes, race fans. One little moment, things can change dramatically and drastically as we rejoin the race live here. Second and third battle on track. Burlow finally getting around that 16 of Derek Moore. So your top four look exactly the way they slotted in for tonight's race here from Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Moore going to give back up the position, fall back into third. Williams Oil 16 machine looks to be struggling a little bit more on the long run pace. But again, these two drivers, they've got a gap. 13 seconds, just about 13 seconds out front is Christian Abasi and Mike DeWalt sitting about 14 seconds behind. So these two drivers starting to fall into that real race category right here as we're about a third of the way through tonight's race. I think now's the time as we've got a driver off track. I believe that's going to be Daniel Jensen. Yes, it is. The 4 of Daniel Jensen. Big moment off track. He's going to give up about 12 seconds on that off track excursion, and that's going to put him well off pace and well behind the race leader. One lap down as we run. Lap number 15 underway out of the 45 scheduled in tonight's race here from Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. And big points implications here tonight as well. Your top 5 in the points, all within 20 points of each other. Todd Cray, not in the field, came into tonight's race sitting second in the points for the first time this season. So could this be the turnaround? We've asked you on the scroller down there at the bottom of your screen. What do you think? Who do you think is going to put an end to it? When will it stop? Absolutely stellar performance so far this season for Todd Cray. A rough go last week, not at the track this week. Team Taco teammate, the 404 of Dave Gage, not in the field here tonight as well. Gage gonna suffer from some points as well, drop outside of the top 12 in the point standings. So right around the halfway point, things beginning to really get interesting in the point standings as there you can see Nick Burlow working his way to the inside of 30 of Zach Miller. That's going to put Miller one lap down to these two. Already one lap down to your race leader, Christian Abasi from the field. 13-second advantage. Man, just how good does it feel inside of this machine right here? I mean, you're well out front, well and away from the field. 16 laps into the race, you find yourself almost 14 seconds ahead. So you've been gaining almost 1 second consistently every single lap. Gotta be a good feeling behind the wheel. That has gotta be probably one of the best handling race cars out on the track. You can see him, no struggles at all through the final corner, laying down the throttle, using all of the track, not overstepping and putting the right side on the curbs and on that rumble strip. Just tidy little corners here for the 45, and Abasi shot out of a cannon and has not looked back. 14-second advantage for the man at the front of the field. We're going to go back to another battle here after the problems for Argabright. He's going to rerun that mentality. Number 27, Toyota Super piloted by last week's race winner, Clark Janikin. A little bit of struggles here behind the wheel of the Xfinity machine. in the Hauck Designs Xfinity Series. A little bit of a struggle this season for Janikin, but finally breaking back through that barrier and parking it in victory lane. In the Lone Star 150 last week from Texas Motor Speedway, and he's going to give up the position without much of a fight here. Looks like Janikin maybe not having the utmost confidence in the tires and the grip out here. He's going to give up the position, and that's going to do it pretty much for the battles around the track. Gaps really beginning to build. We'll run down your driver highlights and spotlights, and look no further than the front of the field. Let's take a moment to talk about this man making his way around the track. Christian Abate with an amazing run behind the wheel of that Red Mist podcast. Chevy Camaro started front of the field, pole position, running a 127.93. He's going to run a 128.08 for the fast lap here in race trim. So right there, bordering those qualifying speeds. Absolutely lights out pace here tonight. Looking for win number 2 this season. Christian Abate going to put the 99 one lap down, and Abate continues to show the way. Getting back in second, right where he qualified, outside pole position here tonight. Nick Burlow with a good run in the point standings. The U.S. Air Force number 88 machine looking to finish things off on a high note and cap off a good race week here from Mid-Ohio. Burlow runs in second. And it's going to be a theme here for your top 3. Dams Oil. Ford Mustang piloted by Derek Moore sits right where he started tonight, sitting in that third position after running in second for a handful of laps. Big battle between Moore and Burlow. Moore going to fade and fall back to his original starting position. Going to run a little bit wide there on the apex of the final corner, forcing a little bit of a mishap. Coming back up to speed, you can see the tail end starting to trail around a little bit on that 16, so maybe struggling a little bit with the grip late in the run. Derek Moore going to round out your podium drivers and sitting back in the 4th spot behind the wheel of the DeWalt number 17 machine, the driver out of Illinois, Michael, holding it down right where he qualified and started from. The DeWalt number 17 Ford Mustang sits in 4th. Finishing out your top 5 and your driver highlights. Lieutenant Ramos got a run in 5th position, up 11 spots from where he qualified. Great run through the field here tonight for the Columbia, South Carolina native. Carlos Ramos working his way towards the front, hasn't been able to close in on DeWalt, who sat in 4th for the majority of tonight's race. Ramos just kind of can't break that 10-second barrier. Whoa, big slide. Oh, can he keep it out of the tires? And whoo, big moment there for Ramos. And we're going to take the graphic off, and we're going to address this one. Huge. The problem there under braking for Ramos. You can see him still fighting with the car, but those dirty tires. You're going to have to get the tires cleaned up and get them back in that proper working temperature range. But a big moment there under braking for Ramos turned into almost a disaster, almost a nightmare, and still struggling with the grip, still having issues. He's going to bypass pit lane. So the 97 with a big moment and a big save as the 41 of Doug Argabright. He's going to be the first driver to pit lane. Looks like he's splitting this up a little bit sooner than the halfway point, but the 41 will head to pit road. And that's going to do it for your driver highlights and spotlights, your mid-race report here from Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Christian Abbasi continues to show the way. We're going to take a look at a battle. How about this man? We haven't really talked much about the driver behind the wheel of that Coca-Cola number 87 Chevy Camaro. Matteo Giuliano making his way up through the field, up 7 positions from where he qualified. So Giuliano may be liking the road course here. Solid run, solid night, 25 laps to go here. Derek Moore going to be the next driver to pit road. Some drivers beginning to eyeball that undercut. But really, if you're Abbasi out front, 15-second race advantage, I don't think there's going to be a big enough undercut to negate all of that time. I mean, Abbasi's just going to have trouble. I mean, let's face the fact, point blank period, this is Abbasi's race to give away. At this point in time, we're coming to 24 laps to go. Abbasi well out front. And he is going to be his own worst enemy for the rest of the night. And we'll see if he can't finish it off. Nice and clean here so far for your top 3 drivers. No off-track excursions for a lot of the field. As we watch your only battle on the track for position, Matteo Giuliano, we told you, got some speed and he is coming to the front. Almost 2 seconds faster than Carlos Ramos, sitting about a half a second faster than Charles Northcutt. Matteo Giuliano on his way. Have a Coke and a smile on me, coming from the 87 machine. But with Giuliano, we couldn't help ourselves. If you know, you know. If you don't, well, I can't help you on that one. Kind of is what it is. So as things stretch themselves out a little bit, Nick Burlow going to make his way to pit road. Oh, and no, Burlow looked to be heading to pit road. He's going to have a big moment here, as well as Derek Moore. Both drivers going to have some problems here. I know we do apologize, a little bit of a mix-up. Quick pit stops for both Moore and Burlow. They're going to come back out third and fourth. About a 4-second deficit between the two, so that battle has dissipated and went away. And Giuliano stepping away from Janikin. Telling you, there is some speed behind the wheel of that 87 machine. We're going to check in with him in a handful of laps, but meanwhile, let's go right here. Fresh tires, old tires, no fight on track for position. Looks like Derek Moore going to take that spot away from Mike DeWalt without much of a fight, and really not much you can do on 20-lap older tires. So the 17 just going to kindly give the position to make his way around the track, just continue his business here tonight from Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Then there it is, DeWalt called to pit road. We'll look to see if Northcutt or Ramos follow suit as well. Matteo Giuliano looks like he may be hearing radio chatter to come to pit road. Meanwhile, this man, no need to fret, no need to worry. We can stretch this thing on out if we need to. 43-second advantage, but you have to make his one only green flag to make it to the end tonight. Abbasi still out there on track. So with things stretched out here, 23 laps to go from Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, we're going to take a little bit of a look forward. Next week, we hit the high banks of Daytona International Super Speedway. As you see, Abbasi bringing his car down the pit road. We'll move back in the field in the running order. Let's take a look at second place runner behind the wheel of that Angelo 16. Derek Moore holding the Ford down in second, up one position from where he qualified. But as we were saying, next week, High Banks, High Speeds, Daytona International Super Speedway, much different racing from what drivers have right here. Maybe a little more stressful as things happen quick, things happen in a hurry at these restrictor plate courses. So it takes a much different mentality, a much different race skill to dominate the super speedway race. But as we were saying already, Christian Avanti, 11.5-second advantage out front, bar none, lights out, fastest class of the field here tonight from Mid-Ohio as Matteo Giuliano gonna bring his 87 down to pit road for his pit stop. Jeremy Shearer gonna follow him down as well. We'll see if Argerbright gonna make that leapfrog with the undercut. Argerbright, one of the first drivers of pit road, and indeed he's going to go by Giuliano and Shear all the way up now to 7th, and reeling in Mike DeWalt for that 6th position. Clark Janikin going to pick up 2 positions on the pit road cycle as well. Matteo Giuliano down and away, ready to go to the end. 22 laps and now remain out front, continuing to show the way. Fresh tires now, and still a lot of speed. And down the backstretch, right in front of your race leader, a handful of lap cars right here running. You can see the Amp Energy number 7, Baker Tours. Chevy Camaro Van Hauck, he's going to move off race line, give the preferred lane to the 45, but still heavy traffic in front of race leader Christian Avanti. Going to swing the car around here. Backside of the track, through the S's and into the final corner. Christian Avanti looking to find more drivers, 1 lap down. Only 10 drivers left on the lead lap here tonight as we make our way around the track with just 20 to go. And this time by the circle, your water, your way. Number 15 of Jeremy Shearer going to be the latest driver falling victim to race leader. Christian Avanti going to leave us with just 9 drivers left on the lead lap. 20 drivers took to the track here tonight on Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. We have still got 18 on track, but only 9 left on the lead lap, so join us if you haven't already. And that push to 3,000 subscribers. You know you love what you got each and every Monday night. Action-packed racing action brought to you by ASMR, Hauck Designs Xfinitty Series, the American Sim Motor Racing League, bar none, one of the best, hands down, right here on iRacing.com. You find them on Facebook.com as well. Check them on out. That's American Sim Motor Racing right here on Turn 3 Racing Network. Christian Avanti out front, 11 3/4 seconds. Might as well say 12 Avanti. I mean, unless you put a roadblock out there, I don't think you're catching them. We're going to take a look back here with the Lieutenant Carlos Ramos up 11 positions, closing in on the tail end of Mike DeWalt. Nicholas Wing with a big moment. Wing with a big off-track moment. He's going to slide back on the racing surface, just in front, or just behind, we should say. By the battle for that fourth and fifth position, Mike DeWalt holding serve right there in that fourth spot, right where he qualified here tonight. Oh, Ramos gonna spin it. Ramos gonna get on the brakes and go around, and he's heading to pit road. Heading to pit road this time by the 97 of Carlos Ramos, going to bring the car to the attention of the crew, and that's going to put an end to his run to the front. How many positions, how far will he drop? Here with the running order, Doug Argerbright going to make his way by Charles Northcutt, also going through. Taking a look back here at that Eagle sponsor number 67 machine, Charles Northcutt, making his way around the track. Looks like some technical issues, so we're going to take a quick commercial break as we remain green flag racing here from Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Don't go anywhere, race fans. We'll be right back. And welcome back, Tracksider. Thanks for joining us here from Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Well into tonight's Grand Prix. Race number 8 for the ASMR Hauck Designs Xfinitty Series. Let's get that time to the left-hand side of your screen for you. A little bit of a technical hiccup. And after the paid sponsor commercial break, we're going to get ready to fire things off. Once again, or well, I guess we wouldn't say fire things off because things never really went to an end. And well, there you go. You get to see overlays loading here, and oh, wow, sometimes the updates and things of that nature seem to just, yeah, well, you know what? We're gonna move on. drivers working their way around the track. Lap number 29 underway. Christian Abate well and away from the field. 15.5-second advantage for Abate over Morgan Burrows. In third, Mike DeWalt sits in fourth. Doug Argabright in a solid fifth position. Charles Northfeld and Clark Janikin. Sitting sixth and seventh, Carlos Ramos listed as the last driver on the lead lap. Back in that eighth position, you can see the 87 of Mateo Giuliano. First driver listed off the lead lap right here following race leader. A little bit of an off-track moment, and that is not what you need if you are Giuliano. So it looks like a big change in the point standings going to be in order at the end of tonight's event. Derek Moore, if he can finish where he is right here, he should be able to keep that top spot in the point standings. So Moore with another solid podium run here this season. Consistency being king for that M's Oil number 16 machine. Derek Moore yet to hit victory lane, but comes into tonight's race leading the point standings, walking away with a solid finish here in second. Looks to be about 3 seconds in front of his closest competitor, Nick Berlow, in the U.S. Air Force number 88. Chevy Camaro rounds out your top three. Through the final turn, back across the stripe, race leader Christian Abate going to make his way by down into turn number 1. Let's take a look as drivers battling for position and battling to keep themselves on the lead lap. Race leader closing in quick. There you can see the 99 of Nicholas Wing making his way by. There's Ramos, Clark Janikin, race leader right behind him. They'll work their way through the keyhole and now down the backstretch. Long little run with a slight right hand about halfway through it. Able to open up the track for a great passing opportunity. We'll see if the 45 going to jump to the inside. No, he's going to stay in the line about 2 cars back from putting Clark Janikin off of the lead lap. Last week's race winner. He's going to struggle to finish on the lead lap here tonight from Mid-Ohio. .99 of Nicholas Wing going to have yet another off-track excursion. Bit of a long go here tonight. That Ford Mustang piloted by Wing had a great car in happy hour. Things that look to be very solid here tonight for Wing. Great qualifying effort. Started all the way up in the 8th position, so a good top 10 qualifying effort. Things kind of falling apart here in race trim, race pace, not the friend of Wing right now piloting that 99 machine. The Ford Mustang struggling a little bit. He sits in 15th in a good move by Giuliano. He's going to work his way by Janikin. That's going to move him up to the 8th position, so a great pass off the track there for Mateo. He's going to get that job done. Keep himself the first driver 1 lap down. Although at a road course, we're not going to see that full course caution. Our drivers are not going to have the opportunity to throw that wave around, so you got to do it the good old-fashioned way. And when you're a lap down, can be a little disheartening. And able to keep his focus right now is Giuliano as they begin to run down Carlos Ramos, last driver listed on the lead lap, and fit it up to that 7th position. Let's jump around a little bit. What do you say? Let's find a handful of drivers. Let's jump back here to the 41 EE Sports machine. I'm Doug Argabright, now taking a look at the 97 of Carlos Ramos. Driver listed the last position on the lead lap and sitting in 7th, about 6 seconds off from company in front. Charles Northcutt holding down that 6th position right where he qualified and started from here tonight. Man, I'm telling you, this guy right here, man, he's going to have to take a provisional. That's it. Provisional at the road course. We're going to take a moment here. Let's see if we can pull it up. I believe, if my memory is serving me correctly, I believe that the last time he went to victory lane was at the road course. And well, hearing word in our ear, I'm wrong. So number one, flip it right there, stop the press. You heard me admitted, I'm wrong. It was not a road course, but might as well be. Worldwide Technology Raceway Gateway is where Abassi last went to victory lane. Very tough little corners there at Gateway, so kind of plays into the wheelhouse of a road course racer, and indeed showing his skills as a road course racer tonight. Christian Abassi out front. 17-second advantage. Charles Northcutt, a little bit of a wiggle on the throttle from that 67 Eagle-sponsored Ford Mustang as we take a look back at Derek Moore running in second. Has the 99 of Nicholas Wing just in front of him. What do you say we ride on board? Let's jump on board with a handful of these drivers here tonight. And we've got more drivers to pit road. Nick Burlow gonna head to pit road. Burlow with a scheduled second stop. He is gonna head to pit road. Last time around, give up a handful of track time. So, big move to the inside. Close racing here between Moore and Wing as we take a look now inside of that 17 machine. A bite to wall, but 11 laps to go. Is this a two-stop race? Is this a two-stop race? And will that heavy undercut come into play? Burlow, Moore, last to pit road back on lap number 20. Abassi, your race leader, able to stretch it to lap 23. So if you do the math, Abassi is going to be right there, right on the cusp of possibly running out. But with the race lead that he's got, 20-second advantage now, I wouldn't be surprised if there isn't some fuel saving going on inside of the cockpit of the 45. We're not going to go on board with the 45. We don't want to give away any strategies that may be underway or playing out here tonight from Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course with 10 laps to go. Abassi continues to lead every single lap, walking away with max points here tonight, barring a catastrophic event or failure. Nicholas Wing with some issues. Clark Janikin gonna have some problems. Janikin with a problem. He's gonna head off track. Let's take a look. Let's check the replay here. What happened with the 27? Already around when we catch the replay. And there you see Derek Moore, the 38, also going by. So some going down. Let's take a look, and there it is. Oh, just getting crossed up, and that's going to be it. Just getting crossed up. was Janik, and he's gonna back it up, get it refired, have to wait for a handful of drivers to go by, gives up a ton of time, but back at the front will rejoin the race as the 17 DeWalt machine looks to go by. The 7 of Ed Hauck gonna move off of the racing line, give the preferred lane to the 17 of DeWalt, who continues to run in fourth. Battle on track right here, right in front of your race leader, battling to keep themselves on the lead lap and battling for position. The 67 and 97 gonna go at it here, the 45 right behind them, so blue flags on display, but you would expect those to be ignored. And how about the speed out of this 97? You've seen him have trouble in a spin, give up a ton of time to Northcutt. He has since reeled him in. And open in the corner. How about that gentleman move right there by Carlos Ramos, giving the race leader the line through the final corner. He's going to look to dig in and now re-attack Northcutt when Northcutt opens the door for race leader to go by. So maybe a good move here by Ramos. We're going to stay right here with the battle. Let's see what happens between these drivers as we're going to take a look off of the tail end. Do we got one of those cameras? I do believe we do. Off of the tail end. Let's take a look back up on Charles Northcutt. You can hear him mopping the throttle there to allow Abbasi to go by. He's going to get back on the gas. Down the back stretch into the braking zone. And here comes the big run. Here comes Ramos. He's right there. Little squeeze of the throttle on and off the gas, working his way through the S's. And a heads-up move. Heads-up move there by Northcutt. He's seen what Ramos was trying to do, and he's going to defend that move and defend it well. Big look to the inside by Ramos, caught off. Or cut off, I should say, by the 67 of Northcutt. Man. 5 drivers remain on the lead lap. 7 laps to go. We hear tonight from Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. And I mean, we've seen some dominating performances. Let's not make any bones about it. We've seen, I believe it was at Hickory, a very dominant performance out of Todd Cray. Here tonight, just as dominating for Christian Abbasi. He's going to pick up his 2nd win of the season in dominant fashion. Walking away with the David Spears Designs Pro Award and leading the most laps, fastest lap as well. So if there's a checkbox to be marked, that 45 has checked it twice. So with only 7 laps to go, 6 as we come through the final corner, this time across the stripe. Race leader behind the wheel of that Red Mist podcast, number 45. Just 6 laps remaining before he can put a 2nd mark in that win column, and this has got to feel good. Winning a race is always good. But when you dominate, you kind of walk around with your chest a little bit more puffed out for that next coming week. I mean, things going to change drastically when we hit the track next weekend. Daytona International Super Speedway. Restrictor blade action, 65 laps of crazy track, high speed, high bank action coming at you next Monday night right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. And what a season really this has been. I mean, we have a historic run being made right now by the 20 machine of Todd Cray. Not in the field here tonight, but Cray in 5 wins on the year so far. Only Clark Janikin and Christian Abati have been to victory lane besides Cray this season. In control of the championship standings all year long. Race number 8 comes along, not in the field here tonight after a rough go at Texas, giving up the points lead coming into tonight's race, and he's going to head into Daytona looking for a way to try to reclaim the top spot. So with no championship chase, it's run what you brung all season long. It's not about how many times you get to victory lane. It's how well you finish week in and week out. With that AMSOIL 16 Ford Mustang sitting in second, we're going to take a look and highlight this man right here. He was able to snatch the overall points lead coming into tonight's race after a great finish at Texas. More looking to head to Daytona. Still your points leader, give himself a little bit of wiggle room in case the big one happens and you get caught up in it. Daytona, big X factor, all circled and marked on every single driver's calendar in the field here tonight. It's one that everybody feels they have an opportunity to win, that everybody thinks that they can get their shot to get to victory lane. So from the oval, guys are going to get mad. So from a very different high skill style of racing here at Mid-Ohio, you're going to have an amazing high level skill of a different nature, of a different beast. Next week at Daytona, will we see the opposite spectrums for this man right here out front? We were unsure about it until now, until tonight. And Christian Abati has shown us he is one of those road course ringers. It's the first time we've caught him on a road course, but with a performance like this, almost a 30-second advantage over second place. Mistake-free all night long. Abati get across the line with just 3 laps to go here from Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Less than 7 miles of racing action remaining. So Abati has proved tonight that it wasn't a fluke at Gateway, that he has the speed, that he has the pace to stay out front, to walk into victory lane. Will he be able to go on a run? Big momentum heading his direction, going into one of the biggest unknown races on the calendar. I don't know. I think it's a dangerous game to play. 45, he's been quick all season. But to give him some confidence heading into a race where you have to be confident in the strategy, you have to be confident in that spotter. All important to be confident in that spotter. That is probably The number one thing for restrictor plate racing is you got to trust what the spotter says. When he says clear, you gotta go. Going across the line, well, signal sticks on display for your race leader with just 2 laps to go for Amati. And you gotta be confident in your own judgment. The spotters aren't always going to be able to clear you the next week at Daytona. You gotta trust that gut. You gotta know when to make the move. You have to fully commit. Road course racing, somewhat similar. When you head into the corner, you have got to commit to that one racing line. And you're going to find yourself struggling to find a new racing line on corner exit. Very important to commit to that corner entry. It doesn't have to be the true racing line, whichever way your car is working. But you've got to commit to those runs. You've got to commit to those apexes. You've got to commit to that throttle at the right point. So, although very different, somewhat similar things that you may be able to utilize and carry into next week. And somebody's going to be carrying him out of this thing on their shoulders. And if he heads to the bar, it's going to be one heck of a celebration in through the final corner this time around. No battles to speak of out on track. We'll watch the final lap here as race leader Christian Abate will cross the line. White flag flies. Final lap here from Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. You're watching the ASMR Hauck Designs Xfinity Series race number 8, the Ohio Grand Prix, coming to a close just one more time around as he heads through the keyhole and down the long back stretch here. Gonna take a look at some sector times here. Through the speed trap, they're gonna clock him, and let's take a look. And yeah, running right there where he's been all night long. Not a bit of drop off for this 45. Christian Abate putting on a clinic. Look how clean it is. No dirt, grime, dust to speak of on this 45. Just, man, I want the car. If they were to make a die cast of this race winning car, I'd definitely buy it, add it to the Larson collection. Because this was dominating across the line. Checkered flag flies, race win in hand. Not a shadow of a doubt in the driver's mind from about unloading. Lights out, stellar performance here tonight by the man that finishes in first front of this field, walking away with an impressive, a dominating race win here from Mid-Ohio, walking away, checkered flag victory lane. He'll enjoy a long cool down lap. Christian Abate will walk away with his second win on the season, and what a run, what a night it has been from Mid-Ohio. We're going to take just a brief moment, head off into a quick commercial break, then back trackside for your post-race interview, so don't go anywhere, race fans. We'll be right back. And back trackside at the conclusion of tonight's Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course race number 8, the Ohio Grand Prix. And what a night of road course racing it was. Let's dive right to it. What do you say we head trackside? Let's grab a few words with the man that walked away with the final spot on the podium here tonight from Mid-Ohio. Nick and Steve, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, man, how you doing? How you feeling after a pretty solid run and a pretty solid finish here from Mid-Ohio?
All right. I feel like I've had this second place car, just made some mistakes here and there and couldn't do it. I'd be catching Derek, then I'd screw something up, but I definitely felt like I was the second on pace. No one was catching Christian by any means, but I just stepped on my feet too many times. But it is what it is.
Yeah, a couple of self-induced penalties, as I like to call them, at road courses. It seemed like the rear of the car got away from me a little bit at times. Was it a brake bias thing, or what was? If there was something you could pinpoint, what would it have been to try to get some of the grip back?
Oh, just driver error. I have an issue with whenever I get behind, I drive angry, and that turn getting pushed off the track to turn one, just hard race in there just made me just drive angry in a way, I guess. So it made me just push beyond my limits. I wasn't cool throughout the entire race. I got cool towards the end. That's why I pitted the third time. I was just or the second time, I guess, and just kind of calmed down the rest of it. But yeah, I just hated being on the back foot coming out of turn one.
Yeah, well, we definitely understand the feeling, and we definitely know about. We don't want to call it road rage, but essentially the same kind of thing. When you get behind the 8 ball, you kind of force the issue a little bit more than what you maybe normally will. But you fell into a good rhythm and a good run. Nick, congratulations on your podium finish here tonight. Before we let you go, would you like to give any shout-outs, thank yous, love yous?
Yeah, there's obviously a shout out to you. Looking forward to going watching the stream after this. See how it all played out from the aerial views, as you guess you could say. Shout out to the league. It's always fun racing with these guys. Very, very clean racing. Just a good time. And then obviously Ed Hauck just for always running his paint schemes and always does a great job. I see him throughout the track, more and more drivers using him, so I love to see it.
All right, well, Nick, again, congratulations on your podium finish here tonight, and we'll see if we can't catch up with you next week at Daytona.
Sounds good. Have a good one.
All right, there you have it. Final few words for the man that walks away in third here tonight. Finishing out the podium is Nick Burlow in that 88 machine. That's going to move us right along the list. Let's see if we can't talk to the man that held down the second position for the majority of tonight's race. Started from third, finishing in second. Derek, how you feeling after a fine run?
Exhausted. Pretty satisfied. I think this is about the best I could have done tonight. Knowing Christian's prowess on road courses, I was pretty positive he was going to run away with it. I just wanted to be the one behind him crossing the line.
Well, we don't mean to open any wounds or rub salt in any wounds here, but yet to get to victory lane. A little over the halfway point in the season, you came into tonight's race with the points lead. You're going to head into Daytona with the points lead as well. Consistency over race wins. What's the approach for the final few weeks?
Definitely consistency. I feel like if you're consistent enough, you'll luck into one at the very least, if not have this pace for a win. But I don't really have any qualms about Matt crafting a championship, to be honest.
Well, we weren't going to call Matt out like that, man, but, since you
hey, man,
said it.
championship's a championship.
You're exactly right. They don't come easy, and it doesn't matter how you get them at the end of the year or the start of the next year. Everybody's going to look back and you were the previous season champion. They can never take it away. So, I mean, barring whether you get to victory lane or not, an amazing run for you so far this season. Great season, another podium finish. So before we let you go here tonight, Derek, would you like to give any shout-outs, thank yous, love yous, maybe thank anybody back home?
Oh, I mean, as always, I'll thank the team and I'll thank my fiance. And then thank you up in the booth for broadcasting every week, and then thank the guys, the admins that put this on every week, because it's a bunch of fun.
All right, my man. Well, again, great finish here tonight. We'll see how things go at a little bit of a crapshoot next week at Daytona. So we'll see if we can talk to you then. But as always, stay safe and keep it fast.
Thank you.
All right, there you go. Final few parting words for the man that walks away, the bridesmaid here tonight from Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Derek Moore going to park that AMSOIL 16. Ford Mustang home in second, and the man that needs no introduction, he was out front in qualifying, out front throughout the entire race here tonight. 30-second advantage at the end of this thing. Christian, you like road courses much?
Just a little bit.
Well, I mean, I don't want to say it's pretty obvious, but it's blatantly clear. I mean, you are just one of the smoothest drivers we've seen all night long. You didn't have a ton of fall off either. Is there any particular thing that you were doing from the seat to be so smooth?
Really just looking after my rear tires the whole race. I knew just limiting any kind of spinning on the rear, excessive spinning on the rears, that was going to help me across the entirety of the stint there. So I mean, big focus was just minimizing any lockups, minimizing any wheel spin coming out of the corners.
Well, this is going to go down as your second victory of the season. You first went to victory lane at Gateway, a track that has some pretty unique braking zones and a track that you got to look after the tires. So maybe a little bit of a theme when it comes to looking after the tires, but a big unknown next week. Daytona International Superspeedway. Can you carry any momentum from this race win into a much different style of racing next Monday night?
We'll see. I think Daytona is probably anybody's track. So if we get a lot of green flag running and we get some green flag pit stops, maybe we'll see if strategy come into play, try to win it that way. But if it's a shootout there at the end, it's anyone's game. So we'll just have to be in the right spot at the right time.
Well, an absolutely dominating race performance. Check into every box here tonight. Fastest lap, most laps led, pole position, checkered flag. You got it all. I don't know what else more you could have got. Maybe the fastest pit stop. We haven't looked at that. No, you just missed out on that one. Like literally just missed out on it. That's nuts. But anyways, man, congratulations on the great run. Before we let you go and soak it all in, would you like to give any final shout-outs, thank yous, love yous? Maybe thank anybody back home or at the shop?
Well, first off, thank you, Dave, for doing this podcast. It's really great to have you doing this for us. Obviously, huge shout out to the League ASMR. They do a great job putting this on, so it's nice fun calendar that they got. And also want to shout out Joe Wormter for making the livery for this car for the Red Mist podcast. So if you want to listen, come check us out. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. So if you want to give it a listen, give it a listen. If you don't, it's cool too. Just for fun.
All right, my man. Well, again, congratulations on an amazing performance here tonight. And we'll see if we can't catch up with you at Daytona and maybe once again before the end of this season. But again, Christian, absolutely stellar performance. Stay safe and keep it fast. There you go. Final words from the man that walks away in the top spot. To his own admission, likes road courses just a little. What a race, what a night. That's pretty much going to do it for us as producers, already hitting those buttons in the background. You know the sounds. You know it's time to run down tonight's unofficial race results right here from Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course for the ASMR Hauck Designs Xfinitty Series. Checkered flag in hand, led every single lap from the pole position. The 45 of Christian Abate breaks into victory lane for the second time this season. 16 of Derek Moore walks away with second, with the 88 of Nick Burlow rounding out your podium drivers. Fourth place belongs to Mike DeWalt, and rounding out your top five, the 41 of Doug Argabright. Lieutenant Ramos going to come home in the 6th position behind the wheel of the 67 Eagles machine. Charles Northcutt will slide home in 7th. 8th place belongs to Matteo Giuliano with Clark Janikin in the 27 right behind him. Jeremy Shear, the OG. Jeremy Shear going to walk away with the final spot inside of your top 10. 91 of Patrick Coro sliding home in 11th. 12th place tonight belongs to John Timms. Cody Schulten, the 5, finishes in 13th. The 99 of Nicholas Wing back in 14th. The number 4 of Daniel Jensen going to have some early trouble, but finish in 15th. Zach Miller back in 16th. 17th tonight belongs to the number 7 of Ed Hauck. Josh McCoy going to bring his 22 home in the 18th position. 19th tonight to Kyle Munson. The 96, unable to make the start here tonight. The rookie with an attempt at a debut did not seem to happen. We'll see if Nick can join us next week at Daytona, but that's going to be your 20-car field here tonight from Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. What a race, what a night, and as we begin to roll up the cords and cut off the lights, if you haven't already, remember to join us in that push to 3,000 subscribers. Show these drivers some love and drop that thumbs up, click subscribe, smash the bell. Over there with the right-hand side, get notified anytime we go live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network, whether it's myself, David the Cave, or anybody else back at the Turn 3 headquarters. We do appreciate each and every one of you, each and every time you stop by. So with that being said, stay safe. Stay loved, my friends, and until next time, we'll meet ya in Turn 3.